drive the moisture off, they put them at 600 degrees, like in a big centrifuge, spitting the water off, spitting the moisture off. The resultant mixture is then put through to the smelter, 1200 degrees of heat now, and the whole mass becomes molten, liquid, again, semi-liquid. Then it flows through into the trays and shaped into the form of doré bars. And that's the final process. Like doré bars are then pulled down and inscribed with Waihi Oceana's logo on it and stored in the gold room. And the gold room is concrete bunker. Just. Okay, we'll just creep forward a bit further. And the gold room is just straight hard left of us. Doesn't look much from here, but
that greyish concrete building.
Yeah, where that rusty, almost like a rusty looking door is. That's the gold room in there. Okay, that's as close as I can get you to it. Sorry.
Oh, look, that's secure.
Okay. No, it's all combo locked and whatnot. Security is tight there.
Is there any gold in there?
Yeah, they would be storing. They've got. They would get a certain capacity in there, and then once it reaches up to a certain level, they'd work in. They've got to work in with the mint. See when the mint can actually process or render those doré bars down for them. So they stockpile them there until get the okay to send them over. Then they get a security firm like Armour Guard. I think it's Armour Guard that comes here and transports them up to the airport. Fly them out. This here, this dull grey, browny, looks like a slag heap to me. That, believe it or not, is the money rock pile right there. That's the good stuff. So what they do, a front-end loader will come and scoop it up. The bigger rocks will have to be pulled aside. They're still too big. Some of those runs down the bottom here. But the smaller ones will be loaded onto the conveyor and into the first of the mills to meet the grinding balls, and we'll show you the grinding balls shortly. Those bigger rocks are still too big. When he's got a moment, or whoever's on the front end loader will take the bigger rocks around to the other side of the wall, and they will be re-crushed to get down to a smaller size. Remember, crushing is the key word above ground. Crushing. So that device on the other side of there's two loaders here. Okay, the machine sits there. Those diggers load the crushing machine up. It's a mobile crusher, so it can work elsewhere, and that reduces those bigger rocks that are too big into smaller particles. And then they back to the heap, back to the where the big heap is, and then eventually they'll be scooped up and put into the mill proper. So the first thing that money rock encounters in that very first mill that we saw with the conveyor belt running into it, the very first thing it encounters is grinding balls. Two types. The first mill has the bigger ones, and the second spinning device, we'll show you that when we stop again, is made up of the smaller ones. So there's the big ones, small ones next door. When the mill's running at full capacity, they get through about 2.5 ton of these grinding balls a day, because they're getting ground down too. So they're made of steel. Okay, so they get down to smaller pieces. When they get down to a certain size, there's a slot in the grinding and the mill that they drop through. So the worn down pieces get taken back to the foundry and they are recast and come back as new ones. Now, rumour has it Valerie Adams, when she was competing for gold medals at Olympic Games and various other events, she'd come up here in the off season and practice with these. So they did set out a little pool for her to throw into. See, just up ahead here. See, they put her in there and they say, "There, Valerie, I'll hand you those and you can practice your shot techniques." You don't believe everything you hear on a tour, do you? Good story, but no substance. Yeah, so this is all part of the fun and games that goes on in here. It's a bit of a mystery to me, but they go through various processes with the water, looking to get it to acceptable quality pre the discharge back into the Ohinamiri River. And also another process that they have is when the mill's running, take the leftovers and do another process to get them of acceptable quality so they can pump up to the impoundment ponds that we've just come down with. Two stages, two separate water treatments going on in one lot of buildings, if that makes sense. Now, the water that's come up from underground and treated before it finds its way into the Ohinamiri River sits immediately to our left. Okay, so that turquoisey coloured water there is now being cleansed. It's waiting discharge into the river. At this point, if I was the guy that has the beaker, I'd say watch just how good that quality of water is, and I'd trot across with my beaker, dip it in, and I'd come back and drink it in front of you, because that's what he does. But I'm not allowed there, so I can't do it. In July of each year, they have swimming races there to compete for what's known locally as the Walrus Trophy. They've run out of miners that are prepared to jump in there in the height of winter, depth of winter, I should say. So they open up to community groups to say, come and join them, and we'll challenge. So local Lions Club might get a challenge, local rugby clubs, whatever. Come and give us your fittest and finest, and we'll take you on and see who can win a trophy for that year.
What's these big
That, I think, is just part of that water treatment process. Yeah, so it goes from certain processes occurring, so they pump the water up from underground, hits these big tanks, they add certain procedures to them to treat or get that water to acceptable river quality, and then back to the pond we just saw, back to the river eventually. So we just last stop here, guys. We won't be too long here before we get back to town. So we do need the hard hats again. Remember, we're on hallowed ground, as it were. And we'll be in and around the container. And we'll do the strength test. Anybody failing will have to pay to get a ride back. If you're strong enough to lift it, yeah, the ride's free. Okay.
Probably we got to try this.
These big photos, just like me, a little bit of help, guys, with the some of the photos to hold. If somebody would like to be my capable assistant, I'd be grateful. And I'm going to look at a certain gentleman to be my assistant. No ride back if you turn me down. You're walking. You're just about to earn your ride back. Okay, pick you up for the last time. So we'll be just start over this end, and I'll just rip you through what I can, and then you can be up for your own devices for a few minutes. Epithermal gold. Let's go back to the start. How did it happen? 10 million years or so ago, the volcanic activity that we have occurring in the middle of the island, White Island, through the Bay of Tinky, Ruapahu. That system was back here in waihi 10 million years ago. It was very slow moving, obviously. So in the upheaval that occurred with that system that was in waihi, the Earth was shaken around when it sort of that system slowly released and it moved on. What was left was the rock, that contained the gold and silver, that like little the veins rained down into the rock and was eventually sort of trapped within the rock. Okay, They realised that if they got hold of that rock and treated it, they could expose the gold and silver. So the methods doesn't matter whether it's going underground or above ground, similar ideas. They sample by the drilling rig, they test it to say, is the yield up to scratch? If it is, let's go for it. Okay, then they dig it out, combination of digging, blasting, drilling, then they crush it, free the conveyor to get it on fit it on the conveyor to get it out from the martyr, or they bring it up by truck from underground. Then they stockpile it in the muddy rock pile just over here that you've just seen. Then the grinding starts again, and then they leach it out via the cyanide. It's absorbed and picked up by the carbon pellets that I showed you. Then it's spun dried. That's what this means, driving the moisture and whatnot out. Heated up to 1200 degrees through the smelting process, and we'll see photos of that over here somewhere. There it is. Okay, and the end result is the formation of doré bars. Okay, these are the comet having gold and silver in them. See those occurred, re-smelted, and then they feature like on that photo. And we're not wealthy enough, and they don't trust me enough, but we were wealthy enough to bring you any gold like that. But they put you in charge. You're in charge of security. Just repeat after me. I'm free time life. I'm done this for my life. I've got space. Sorry, I'll speak for you. Yeah, you're in charge of that now. You leave that. It's on you, not me. Okay, thank you. And you just pass it around the green. 10 ounces of silver, folks, coming your way. 10 ounces of silver. That was come from about 250 bucks. That's trade price. If you went into Michael Hill's jeweler and asked for 10 ounces of silver, God knows what it might cost you. That's a trade price, for 25 bucks an ounce.
Big one.
So if it was the same in gold, you do the maths for me, sir. 3,000 times 10. So if that was gold, okay, put that into perspective. That's why we do this. That amount in gold, 20 grand. Silver, 250. See the difference? That's what they take the silver, they twist it.
It's a rough one. Oh, it's a big.
Yes. Now, about gold, ladies, calling all ladies. Gentlemen, you can ignore this part. I want to show ladies real gold. I'm the only tour guide on my ear that can show you real gold. You can take it home, ladies. You can take it home. One problem. I'm waiting for offers, ladies. I'm not hearing much. And I'm going deaf. Speak up, please. No, let's see if
I didn't see one.
All right. Thank you.
Dishes?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Oh, quick. You get the deal. Okay. So just coming back to another couple of things, and I'll leave you to your own devices for a few minutes, and that'll be it. Historically, okay, let's go back to the old days when it all started. Remember the hill we've spoken about, and the hole. So adding all this together, all the tunnelling those blokes did up to 1952, straight line it, 175 k's. Okay, from here to Orewa, thereabouts. Okay, the biggest seam they ever found in the Martha was world standard size of 1.6 kilometres long and up to 30 metres wide. So that kept them busy for a long time. So they're pretty happy with that. Sky Tower. Okay, everybody familiar with it? When you go up to the sky, well, near the Sky Tower again, have a peek at the top. There is some gold at the top to help negate the lightning strikes. Another use for gold. Various other uses for gold other than dental fillings. Don't use gold and dental fillings anymore. Sort of something of a dinosaur. Okay, the truck, some more details about the truck. Some of those things aren't quite accurate, especially the price. Don't know if I mentioned the price of the truck. The tyres themselves are about $20,000 per tyre.
Oh my
The truck
God.
itself is $2 million.
Don't even.
Coming over here, this is the environmental part of things. Okay, so if you're environmentalist, you can get a job with, as this lady has done.
Oh my God, 2 million din natin katong dito dako nung ginoo ko.
You need your expertise to keep them on track. That's an artist's view as to what the market lake might look like 2040 onwards. Okay, so here's another business trip for your entrepreneurs. Is you can come out and put a zip line across the future lakes of Martha. Probably make more than what we-
Guys, the big gold mining area. Oh, look at that.
So these are the environmental fees.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are rocks they found underground. Please don't ask me what they are, other than
Not allowed to go there. I'll just stay in this area.
From the grinding board, so have a play with that. Okay, so that's the first thing that the money rock encounters as it goes through the process to be ground down. 2.5 ton a day of those balls they get through when they're running. And that's what they get reduced down to. So when they're down to a certain size, they get dropped through the slot and they get taken back to the foundry to be sorry. You want to wait until well, when you get back, you can go and see the lady at the desk and the chief will talk you through it, okay? Everybody had a chance to have a look at that one? Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you, security. Thank you, security. Yes, wait. They have a little plate. I'll give you something to see and we're going to send you home with something.
Grabe. 2 million din na siya nga truck.
Not the dog.
Grabe nga, 2 million nga truck.
No, 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 no. I'm used to it. Okay, there's a bit here, bits of sampling from draw root, so if you want to take a piece home, you're welcome. That's broken bits off the drill rig. So if you want to take home, I don't know what you do with it, doorstop, paperweight.
Doorstop.
The TV was meant to be running shots of underground, you know what it looks like underground. Yeah, but the best I can do is some still photos. Thank you, might need.
You want a sample?
Oh, just is it allowed to bring in the airport? Eh? I don't.
You add a bit of weight and give big luggage.
Just a small, maybe. A small one.
Which one?
Oh, sorry.
Il n'y a pas dans la queue, il n'y a pas de...
Oh, maybe that one.
Which one?
That one, the white one.
What, which one?
That one. Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. Oh. Stone. Giveaway.
I reckon you're a kickboxer.
I want that one. The black.
But they're much heavier
Dagan.
when they're full capacity.
Mana bugat man.
Okay guys, just a couple of photos to finish off with.
Oh, dako kayo.
Yes. And now the portal. Okay. The process back.
Ayan, anak ko is kuan. Souvenir. Souvenir. Gold mining areas. Not allowed to go there, just only far away.
Tom's person for record
Eh.
traffic. Questions on how they work out who goes where.
Bawal magpunta doon sa ano, malapit dito lang sa sa ano. Restricted kasi yung area dito. Dito lang sa area nga nandito ang bus. Yan. Yan kami oh. Marami din kami sakay sa bus. Laki naman to oh. Machine sa ano? Sa belt sa ano? Magdagan sa mga bato diyan. Yan ang bato. lagyanan sa mga bato, sa mga stone, belt ba, gold, or any stone and they're going there in the belt from the ground. Laki-laki oh.
And you see thickness through the rocks, that's why underfoot will a bit mushy. They've got to keep pumping to keep them relatively dry.
Ilan ang minuto? 20 na.
You can see there from that photo the concrete mesh, the mesh over the walls to stabilise, and the concrete over there to stabilise it. Okay. There's two concrete trucks out here on site permanently. They both must be underground working at the moment. I couldn't see them. Okay, that gives you an idea how huge they've opened up parts underground. The interconnecting tunnels are really skinny, but now and again they get into big openings like this, so they can put workshops and bits and pieces underground. So it's a huge area to see open underground. And finally, draw up. Yeah, okay. Right
Smile in the camera.
Right in the coal face.
Ay, tagan camera diri guys.
Lining up the rig. Now,
Mga
a
camera.
lot of this gear today
Sa
is
kilid.
done on remote. So we're going away
dito.
from people having to manually operate the machine. You stand out with the remote, so if you're good on driving your cell phone, like you guys, all of you people are, except me. I'm too slow to get my back fingers on keyboards. Thanks, thank you for your support, sir. Great to have somebody in the group that understands me. Okay, so if you're good on that, you can be a good operator. So when your kids or your young people are doing this all day long, driving them mad, I think maybe one day that kid might be able to operate one of these machines that earn big money, and his old grandfather won't have to pay for a university fee. God bless you. Okay, well that's about it, folks, that I can tell or show you for the time being. So I hope we haven't bored you to tears too much. We'll get
Very
you,
interesting. Thank you.
yeah, so we'll get, so we'll get you back with your samples. Okay, sorry it's not gold. Okay, no value in them. but
Nagkakuha ko.
I keep saying.
Nagkuha
it just
ko
the drill
ano,
tip?
Gabato
Broken
nga.
drill tip.
Broken drill bit.
Oh, if underground.
From underground.
Remembrance.
Do you know how much agate they find around the area?
你自己心里边可以吧？啊？你想要自己去挑一个，我
We
换
do
一
a
个。
lot of it, especially out there. Or when the farmers
把你那种滑，
they bring it up.
C'est une carotte.
Now they see, now they see it.
Oh, right. Yeah, just with seed drill, I'm trying to desperately get rid of weeds on my pasture, lifestyle block, now a life sentence block at my age. I'm trying to get rid of it. But anyway, seed drill, to me, when they put the seed, it's too far apart. I'm looking for a big, nice green, plenty of grass. Not enough seed going in with the seed drill. So I'm doing it the old way. Yeah, but I don't know if I'm doing it right because weeds still come up and beat me anyway. Yeah, trying to get a better pasture. I want to look like a car, so I can sell it. It looks good. Okay, get you back into town. So I'll just finish off as we drive out of here with a little funny story. If you could, I'm sure you've all either been on them or know of them, school party trips which come around in big buses from their schools, from the big Ura schools particularly. So when they come to town, we don't do those tours normally. Sometimes, occasionally we get asked to come along as commentators. They have their own driver and we just commentate, but mainly they grab somebody from Oceana Gold to come on. Oceana Gold are richer than us. They don't have a miserable piece of silver. They have a little piece of gold, real gold, to pass around. It's not terribly big, but it's worth about. the door. It must be something with that door. I just have to try that door again. It's what happens if there's a sensor through here that brings the block up underneath the accelerator if the door is not properly closed. So I can't depress the accelerator.
Mm.
Good you lock it. Push the lock down.
I don't know. I don't touch. No, don't touch it.
Have the air in now, hopefully. So the block will hopefully retreat.
It's not locked
Now
though.
that will depress the accelerator. Try that. No. Still there.
It's not locked, that's why.
Yeah, well, I did lock it before, the first time. What I did.
It's locked down.
It's locked.
Lock, okay. No, it hasn't released it.
Oh my god.
Lock it.
Still not released. It's only creeping forward.
It's all high tech science.
Try it again. We'll try it with the key.
Mm.
That's the problem with all this new technology. It's
Yeah,
hopeless.
I might have to fiddle with the other.
Đấy. Thế là.
We'll just try it. Set to manual. Yep, down the bottom with the switch. See, it's on manual.
What's the automatic put it back?
Yeah, the automatic. Yeah, see, but that would put it back to the electrics.
Oh. My god.
Đấy. Cũng sủa là.
It's called it making sure the damn thing is down over there.
Still, it's gonna do it. Ah, something happened. Let's start. Come on, give me a break. Be nice to me. Yay!
Yay.
Success. There we go.
Go.
What is happening?
Well, yeah. Might have had to go and ask if we could go into their lunchroom and see what they had for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
So
I
I
might say with
have
this.
a lunch at underground.
Yeah.
What the underground is there.
Sort of get a drone flying out supplies from waihi, you know,
Oh, yes,
landing by drone here for our lunch.
Why is it there?
Sorry,
That's a conveyor.
conveyor belt, yes. Yep.
Where it's flooded.
Yep. So it's yeah. Sometimes you'll see water sitting on where it's just rain's been on it, but they do cleanse it periodically and give it a run and lube, put the grease and oil wherever they use on it to make sure the rollers are in good condition when they need it. Anyway, coming back to the wee piece of gold on this particular, going back about 3 or 4 years, they had a school party, primary school party, and a big bus like the big Newman buses come through, and the Oceana Gold educational officer had this little piece of gold as a sample to hand round to kids, like I did with the silver bar for you guys. So this enterprising, he was about an 8 or 9 year old apparently kid, got to thinking as it was coming near him, he heard the Oceana guy say gold is a very soft metal. Very soft metal. So he got it into his head that when he got his hands on it, he'd give it a rub on his shirt, both ways, both sides, and then he'd put a little imprint on it with his teeth. So when he popped it into his mouth before anybody could stop him, and he put a little chomp on it, lost control of it, and swallowed it. Oh.
That boy now worth a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. So they had to escort him over to Waikato Hospital, give him some inducements. 2 days later, he reproduced the gold. Yeah, so,
Did he have to give it back?
yeah, and the tour guide on future trips said, and now you're holding it. The gold that had passed through the other guy's system. He said, and now that's a piece of gold there. You're holding it. People get a bit of a there it goes. Yeah. So kept you out long enough, we'll dispense with the pat-down service if there was one on offer. I'll pass on that today. Once you're back in town, I'll consider it. So altogether, when Ocean Gold permanent employees, about 390 people. Not that we saw many of them today, or any of them, for that matter. But yeah, about 390. A guy that was on before me, he's the 60 man now. He said his son started as a 17-year-old, was given the youth, and we saw the four youths out on site, and he was a gopher, going here, and all sorts of people's beck and call when he started. So he started on a, I think a roster, a different roster for him. I think 9 days straight and then 4 days off he was on the roster. So I think he started on just 8-hour shifts. I think he started on 75,000. So as a 17-year-old.
Good money.
So I think I was in the wrong stock. So we've got a lucky break here. The traffic here is horrendous at times trying to get out. Across both lanes of traffic. Phases would be different colours, so it looked quite majestic, up against the skyline as you're coming into Waihi from Tauranga, with the changing of the lights they had going on there. So that was, the locals deemed it their answer to the Auckland Sky Tower. It was said that the vandals got in and destroyed the lights, as they do, and we don't see it lit up anymore. For those of you from outside of Waihi, if you're looking for good quality accommodation, to do a little commercial plug, this property here on this corner coming into view, this is Trail Blazes. The people live in the house on site, 2 units. There, right there, Trail, wonderful reviews, 5-star reviews right across their page. So looking for good quality accommodation at a reasonable price.
I can say we stay there.
Yeah, I could do no better than point you in their direction. So you might tell the proprietors that Mike, the tour guide, gave them a plug. I'll get a cup of coffee next time off them next time I'm in town.
I'll do that when I go back.
They're fellow Lions. They are, I'm in White Pyral Lions. They're in White. Sorry, Greg. Greg is in. He's in. I can go. Sorry, no. He's in Waihi Lions. They run a pretty good operation. They're a motel here from Hamilton, before they came over here and built their properties. We'll make our way back, folks, for the final discharge. I'd like to thank you all on behalf of Waihi Gold Tours for coming out today. Hope you're going home with a greater knowledge of how the industry works here in Waihi. Lovely to have you all aboard. Wish you a safe journey to your homes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, let you out for the last time. Hope the door works. At least Eddie will know. He'll put a sledgehammer through it if it doesn't. We'll be right. Success.
Open door. Thank you.
Okay, all good. Okay, keep well. Okay, cheers now.
Put this one.
Remember, take your cup of
Thank
tea
you,
and
thank
still
you,
back.
thank
And you
you.
too. You too. Good on. Okay, good to see you. Okay, bye-bye.
Where we eating,
Oh,
John?
and the jacket, please.
Yeah, the jacket.
I know you can come reattach to the jacket. Thank you.
Oh, jacket.
Your public housekeeping. Thank you.
Mag-CR lang ko.
Oh, sige, sige.
Hanggang dito.
Oh, sige.
And you want, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All
Thank
good,
you so
all done.
much.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, have a nice day.
You too. See you now.
Thank you guys for watching. Discover Gold Discovery webinar tour. And thank you guys for watching. This is Waihi, New Zealand. Thank you guys for watching. See you next video. Cheers.